Alrighty, my dancers. Today we are going to be starting 3 days of jiving. So this jive is going to be heavily based on international jive. So for those of you who already know, this is just a basic introduction to this style of swing. Now, if you don't already know this, my name is Alonzo and I am your dance professor here on YouTube. Out of all of the styles of swing, I've saved this one for last because it's quite honestly the fastest. Those of you who are just barely getting into it, I'm not going to go crazy into technique, which is usually what happens first off, because usually in the beginning, training good technique creates better dancers. But in the beginning, baby steps are required in order to learn what is going to be taught. So from that, let's get to jiving.
Alrighty, everybody. Now, to start off, I'm starting off with something that I learned way back when, but it helped me out understand the hip rotation or the pendular swing in jive, especially when things get so fast and yet you see professionals dancing and you can see that they're using a lot of hip action while doing this. Well, what I found was that playing around with the Shorty George and thinking more like Elvis Presley was the style and characteristic that was most synonymous with jive style dancing, and then later on the professional Latin style of jive. So with that, hopefully this helps. Now with the next part, we're just getting ready for the preparation, and the preparation is just the figure four, and what I'm trying to show here is that you're using your hip to bring in your foot. So when you swing your hip pendularly and you bring in your leg, that gives it its stylistic characteristic of jive, of the lifting and bouncing. And in this particular video, I'm not going to be focusing crazy on the bounce. When practicing, you want to try and think about having a level ceiling. So your head is not going to go up and down all that much. That way you can absorb that up and down motion into the body, okay? Now here again, I'm using that pendular action to bring in that hip. And instead of just going straight side, it's going to be side and slightly back. So again, here, that lifting of the hip, so like that tilting of the hip helps bring in that leg. And again, the way I'm doing this, it's not going to be completely extra like how I'm doing it. It's just enough to what the music allows. So if it's a that's all the time you have. So it's a one, it's really quick. Bring it up, figure four, and then go from there. The triplet is right underneath yourself, then you take your next step. Right underneath yourself, then you take your next step. Now again, that side step is a very, very quick step, so I'm still exaggerating that side step on the even count. So you have half, half, whole, half, half, whole, half, half, whole. Next thing I'm going over is the rock step. Now remember, you still have the lifting of the knee right before that rotational rock step. So you're not going to have a crazy amount of space while doing this. What I'm showing off is the use of the passing of the knee to show where I'm going to take my next step, that back rock. So you don't want to go crazy far away because you won't have enough time to recover when you're coming back. Same thing on the left side. We're not gonna bounce crazily when we do that. So finally, now that we're putting everything together, we have our chasse, rock step, keeping to the rhythm. So hopefully, so far you have a good idea of how to play around with these steps and how tight you gotta really keep things with the speed of the music, okay? So enjoy the practice.
All right, dancers. Today was the basic introduction to jive, and for today we focused on our chasse as well as our rock step. Now, I didn't put it as in a particular plan. I didn't put it in a particular order. I just went from chasse, rock step, chasse, rock step. So you can kind of get an understanding on both sides. Traditionally, a closed basic to the left would be two chasses, left chasse, then right chasse, rock step left. And then you'd have the basics to the right, which would be your chasse right, chasse left to a rock step right. That's how these steps are made up. But today I just wanted to focus on just the basic principles and getting an understanding of what the style is like before actually dancing it, okay? See you in the next one. Before you go, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Bring this to somebody that desperately needs a little bit of help in understanding how to dance, or if you're trying to convert somebody that's from American to international. All right, see you in the next one.